Xbox is leading the way. Yes, that's right. Xbox is leading the way. Subscription services are pushing the gaming industry forward. This is according to analysis over at gamesindustry.biz. They have this story, and I think it's just further proof that Xbox is leading the way. On top of that, Xbox just dropped a trailer on their channel showing off, and this was news that we saw last week, but the trailer dropped today, showing Samsung built into the Samsung hub on their televisions. You're able to play your Xbox. Xbox is leading the way. Let's review it. Let's talk about the article. Let's talk about the new feature on the Samsung televisions, which, by the way, I want. How awesome is that? My next TV will probably be a Samsung TV so that I can have that in my bedroom playing there. It beats a console. It beats having to buy a console and just give me a TV. Give me the TV. Anyways, let's talk into it. Let's dive into it. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We do all Xbox stuff all the time right here on this channel. If you like what we're doing, join us. So this is a news article over at gamesindustry.biz. This is what it says. Subscriptions will push consoles to a record year, according to DFC Intelligence. DFC Intelligence released information from its 2022 market forecast, saying it expects the PC and console software market to post a record year in 2022. A record year in 2022. Now, think what that means. A record year. When we're in a recession, we're probably going to be in a deeper recession. The remainder of the year, looking into 2023, things have not been that great, but we're getting a record year in gaming. Why? Subscriptions. Here's what they have to say. It's driven by growth in subscription services. For 2022, the market analysis firm expects software on console and PC to be $72 billion, up 5%. From last year's mark, which was already a record. Quote, a major driver of this growth is not new releases, but increasing usage of subscription services from Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and others. The console game business is expected to see a third of software service revenue going to Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo for their game subscription services, Game Pass, Switch Online, and the newly revamped PlayStation Plus. Now, while DFC mentioned hardware shortages and difficult comparisons against the pandemic-boosted 2020 and 2021 results, the firm is still bullish on the console and PC games industry. They say, quote, even as prices rise and the possibility of recession lurks, the core game industry should continue to grow. Now, let's rewind real quick. Back to when Game Pass was first announced by Xbox, back when it first dropped, and everybody, yes, everybody on the internet criticized Xbox. They criticized Game Pass, unless you were using it. If you were using it, it was like, yes, look at how great of a deal it is. But one of the common criticism was, this is just not sustainable. Well, I think that's been proven incorrect. And I think proof positive is that Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, as well as others, are jumping into the subscription space. It just makes sense. That's how we consume our media. Subscription in gaming makes sense because all of our other media, whether it's music or television or movies, is on subscription services, and nobody's complaining. Now, granted, I think there are too many subscription options at the moment in general media, so there is that threat. But as far as the gaming side of things, I would get rid of Netflix. In fact, Netflix and their increasing prices, I would get rid of Netflix before I got rid of my Game Pass subscription. Why? Because I use Game Pass all the time. It's free games. $60 a game versus $15 a month. All day, every day, I'm with Game Pass. And so I think Xbox really is leading the way. When you look back at previous console generations, and this is what's interesting about Xbox and Microsoft this generation, they're not just leading the way on the console. They're leading the entire way in the gaming industry. Now, granted, they did open up their purse, their rather large purse, and have purchased Blizzard, Activision, Bethesda. So they're absolutely giant. But they are leading the way in the gaming industry. They're leading the way on the PC and the console. PC is going to go to subscription. I believe Steam is going to go to a subscription-based model eventually as well. I think it's just inevitable. I think it makes sense. I think it's what players want. It's a great deal for gamers. Now, there is criticism that perhaps it's not the best for development, but then developers punch back at that and have said, actually, this has been great for our game. This actually frees us up for our game. Even third-party developers, even independent developers. So it's going to be interesting. Regardless, I think this is further proof positive that Microsoft really is leading the way. this generation of gaming. Now, last time they led the way was in the Xbox 360. And what did they lead the way there? Well, if you remember, it was online gaming. They were really the first to do it properly on a console with the Xbox Live service. Yes, it was not free like the PlayStation was, but it also was secure. It worked well. They didn't have the big hacks or the big issues, if you remember, that PlayStation had. And so they led during the 360 generation, and for a time led that generation as a result of leading. It's all about who's leading in the industry. Who led during the PlayStation 4 generation, this last generation, versus the Xbox One? It was PlayStation, easily, not even a question. They led with next generation titles, with next generation gaming, with AAA class gaming, with a focus on that as well. Xbox, though, I believe is leading this generation. I believe they're going to continue to lead this generation. I believe that they are changing gaming forever, and I think it's benefiting us as consumers as a result. Another thing that they're leading on is the way we game, right? Not just on subscription-based services, how we consume our games, but the way we game and how we game. And cloud gaming, they're all in on. They've not really spoken about VR gaming. They've kind of stayed on the outside of VR gaming, where PlayStation has jumped all in on VR gaming. And I think instead they've pivoted to cloud gaming, and I think it's a correct move. And now we got this trailer that did just drop today on streaming on your Samsung Smart TV, no console required. You can now stream cloud games from the Game Pass library right to your television from the Samsung Gaming Hub using your favorite controller, i.e. an Xbox controller, but you can use any controller that you like. It's not just limited to the Xbox controller. And I think this is the future. Now, is this perfect at the moment? No. I actually use my iPad for this and have used it frequently. There is a latency issue that still exists. It's not bad. It's not unplayable. I would never use it for multiplayer gaming or competitive multiplayer gaming. I'd use it for like party games. I use it for single player RPGs or story-driven games. Lego games, for instance, is what I've used it on. I've even used it on Tetris. And that's sometimes the latency will hurt you on. But the latency is not terrible. It's not bad. It's just not as good as it being right on your controller plugged into the internet directly. Having said that, I do think cloud technology is the future for gaming, and I think that that's going to improve over time to the point that my next television is going to be a Samsung television, because this just makes it easy. I want to be able to game in every room in my house. Why not just buy a TV in every room of my house? Yes, yes, yes. I am there, not just 100% there. I'm 1,000% there. I cannot wait. I do think this is the future. And I think this is further proof that Xbox is leading this generation and will continue to lead this generation. I would like to know what you guys think, though. Am I wrong? Is the DFC Intelligent information wrong here? Do you think that this is a fad? Do you think it's the future? I actually posted a poll on the community tab here on this channel, and so far most of you do think that game subscription is the future. However, there is still a large body of players and people that don't, and think that this game subscription is just a fad. I just don't see it. I don't think the numbers add up. I mean, look, when you're in a recession, and we are in a recession, things are getting more costly than ever, and we're still going to see a 5% growth off of record numbers last year. The numbers don't lie. Game companies, gaming services are going to go to that subscription-based model. But I could be wrong. I'd like to know your opinion. What do you think? Do you think it's good for gaming? Are you excited for the future? What about cloud gaming? Are you excited about Xbox being able to be played straight from your television without the need of a console? Let me know in the comments below. Again, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. All Xbox content all the time right here on this channel. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time.